Welcome back to my channel. This is Dika. This is Dika's Adventures. I'm really excited to tell you about what I'm going to tell you about today. First off, if you like my content, please subscribe, hit that bell. That's going to let you know anytime I come out with a new video. And for those of you who have subscribed, thank you so much. It's been wonderful. And I'm having so much fun doing this, and I can't wait to talk about the content today. So, to give you a little background on how I found this bait, it's a crankbait. It's a mid-sized crankbait that most people have not even heard of. And it catches fish like no other. It's a wonderful, wonderful bait. So how I find new baits sometimes is I'll go on Facebook pages and I will write, what's your favorite crankbait? Or what's your favorite soft plastic? Or what's this? Or what's that? And usually you get a ton of hits and people will just ramble off their favorite bait. Now, the reason favorite baits become favorite baits is because they work, or it's your go-to bait, or you have great success with it. So I think like 150 people came back when I talked about their favorite crankbait. And 10 or 15 people said this bait, which is the Storm Lightning Shad. I had never heard of it. I didn't know it existed. So I went on YouTube and I tried to find some reviews on it. I couldn't find any on it. And then I went on eBay or other places trying to find one that I could purchase to at least try it out. And turns out they're discontinued. So this bait is known as what many other storm baits are called, is pre-Rapala. So before Rapala bought Storm, this was a storm bait. So if you go and look at old Rapala baits, this won't be there because it was a storm bait. It was before that. This bait came out in it debuted in 1997, and then it came out on the market in 1998. It is a half-ounce, flat-sided crankbait. It's a mid-sized crankbait. It's not considered a square bill, but it falls in the, I stuck myself. It falls in the same category as a lot of square bills. It goes like 5 to 8 feet. Now, if you read the specs that it came out, Rapala, Storm would say that it will reach up to the low teens. I fished it. I find that it gets anywhere from like 5 to 8 feet. Right around 6 feet. You know, if you really burn it, you might be able to get 8, maybe 10 feet. But I slow roll it or even do a moderate retrieve. So the lip on this, unlike some, is built right into the bait. It's part of the plastic mold, which I think is great for structure. You know, the way that Storm describes this bait, I wrote it down. They say it's a shad-shaped, full-bellied dorsal fin body. Now that makes sense. I don't know many other crankbaits that have this lip on the top here, that dorsal fin, and it does have this big belly here. A lot of other crankbaits they have this sort of teardrop shape to it, you know, and it's roughly the same surface area, except it's flat-sided instead of round-sided. What else do I have here? So, like I said, it's a great bait, moderate to fast retrieve. That's what Storm does in its specs that came out in the late 90s. I slow roll it a lot. It has this very, very subtle, tight movement to it. And I love the flash that it has. It has great flash. Now, like I said, this is discontinued, so you can't buy it. You can't buy it from a store. You can't buy it from any online stores. So I go on eBay, and I attempt to buy it there. I'll look at people who are selling lots of crankbaits, like a whole lot of them, like 15 or 20 or whatever, and I'll look through them to see if there's some of these, and then I'll text that person or email that person, and I'll ask them. I'll say, I'll give you $5 for that one, or $10 depending on it. I spent $8 for this one, and I bought it individually. It was not in the package. Some people are selling them still in the package as if they are collector's items. but most of them are not more than $8 or $9, which, I mean, if you, a good crankbait out there, you might spend more than that. And this is a phenomenal crankbait. So I'll go on eBay and I'll pick them out. So this one I spent $8 for. I don't think it was ever even fished. There's no rash. Oh, maybe there's a little bit right there. There's no rash on the lip. There's not a mark on it. As opposed to this one that came in the mail a couple days ago, which is beat to hell. I mean, the hooks on it, they're bent out a little bit. They're all rusty. This one's all rusty. There's rust on the bottom of this. This has probably been sitting in a tackle box for 10, 15 years just doing nothing. But it's very, very rough on the outside. The bill is lots of rash on the bill, like it's been banged off of everything. Rightfully so. It's a crankbait. That's how we're supposed to fish them. But it as much as it's beat up on the outside, it's still got that shimmer that I love. All right, so if we know anything about crankbaits, what do we know about crankbaits? We know the crankbaits are reaction baits. They're not going after smell or shape or, well, I guess shape sometimes. It looks like a fish, but it's a reaction bait. So when the fishing is tough, the pros will tell you fish a flat-sided crankbait because it has less movement and the way it goes through the water. And with a lot of times when the fishing is tough, it could be early season or late season. Now here in New England, early season for me is like March or April when the ice melts. Or late season might be October or November before the ice hits. The idea behind that is it just has less movement than a rounded crankbait. Anyone who fishes crankbaits, they know what they're for. I absolutely love this crankbait. It's a hidden gem. You can't find it anywhere. I love it. Look, and here's another one. You can see that this one is completely beat up, but I'm still going to fish it. And it's not silent either. So they describe, one of the things that they put in it is they have floating BBs in there. Now this one's older. Well, I don't know if it's older, but it's certainly got a lot more wear. And it sounds like it's got more BBs in it than this one. This one seems like, if I can shake them next to each other. We have, and then, the older one, or the more used one, definitely has a duller sound, but I love that. I don't like big clicking noises when it comes to crankbaits. I like those dull, sort of muffled sounds because they're going to be even muffled even more when they're coming through the water and when the sound carries through the water. And if we're banging this off everything that we can find, if we're banging it off of rocks or laydowns and over logs, and then you have that subtle rattle on top of that, I don't think anything could be better when you come to a crankbait. It comes in a bunch of colors. I think a lot of the colors are really crazy. Some of them are like a bright blue, like my shirt, even more. And then there's like a bright yellow one with like a red head. I think they called that a clown one. I try to find the ones that have these. This one's got the dot on the other side. I try to stick to these. I personally like the one with the yellow eye better. But these, they really seem to work. This one even looks like a baby bass. But they're wonderful, wonderful baits. Like I said, if you could subscribe to my channel, helps me out a bunch, and ring that bell. People are going to know when I put out a new video. I just want to say on the side, again, if you've watched the whole video, thank you very much for watching the whole video. And the amount of support that I've already gotten and the amount of subscribers that I've gotten in such a short amount of time, it just lets me know that I'm on the right track. So, like I said, if you like this content, subscribe, ring the bell, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of these. If there's any other baits out there, or if you agree with me, if there's any other baits out there that you want me to do reviews on, I'll do reviews on them. But like I said, this is a hidden gem. It's forgotten. Go buy it, check it out, and then come back and put something in the comments and tell me what you think. Tell me that you didn't catch anything on it. Tell me that you caught a bunch on it. It's not going to go out and slay them, but when the fishing is tough, it's a good bait. All right. Till next time, I'll see you guys later. Be well. Tight lines.